Welcome to Rise Up Voices from the Front Lines, your window into relationships, identity, safety, emotional awareness, regulation and intelligence, unleashed potential, passion and purpose.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Rise Up Voices from the Front Lines, and this is a trauma-informed leadership series episode. I'm your host, Krista Fee, and today we're going to confront one of the most dangerous realities in leadership: blind spots. Blind spots aren't the things that we know we need to work on. They're the things that we don't even realize are there. The shadows that we carry that hurt people without our awareness. And in leadership, blind spots don't just trip you up. They break trust. They fracture teams, and they can even end movements. So let me tell you a little story about a CEO who couldn't see himself. I worked with a CEO who couldn't understand why turnover in his organization was so high. He believed he was supportive. He believed that people admired him. But his staff described him completely differently. They said he was dismissive in meetings, constantly interrupting, that he would send them emails at 2 a.m. in the morning, and they felt like they were never off work. When I told him this, he said what most people high in organizations tell me: that's not me. But it was. And his refusal to see it cost him some of his best people. Leaders don't fail because of what they see. They fail because of what they don't. So why are blind spots so dangerous? Blind spots are dangerous for a few reasons. The first is they multiply with power. The higher that you climb, the bigger your impact and the bigger your blind spot's ripple effect becomes. They hide in familiarity. Blind spots live in, that's just the way I am. Comfort disguises harm. They destroy trust. People can forgive mistakes, but not repeated wounds from a leader who refuses to see. And blind spots create patterns of behavior that repeat often over time. So why can't we see ourselves clearly at all? Like, why are these blind spots? Let's take a neuroscience perspective. Your brain protects your ego. It filters out feedback that threatens your self-image. That's why blind spots are so persistent. Trauma makes it even worse. Unhealed parts of us resist awareness because awareness feels like danger. So we project and deny and dismiss. And that's why trauma-informed leadership requires humility. It says, I will choose to see even if it hurts. So let's talk about a historical example. Richard Nixon was brilliant. He was politically skilled and a huge strategist. But his blind spots, paranoia, mistrust, hunger for control, brought him down. It wasn't his strengths that ended his presidency. It was the shadow he refused to see. And let's bring it into the present with a real client story. He's someone you might know. Maybe he even is you. The first responder who thought he was fine. I once worked with a first responder who insisted that he was fine. He said, I've been doing this for years. Stress doesn't get to me. But his family told another story. He was having angry outbursts, emotional withdrawal, sleepless nights. His blind spot wasn't just hurting him. It was hurting everyone he loved. And when he finally faced it, healing could begin. But denial nearly cost him his family. And guess what? I have my own blind spots too. And in time, I'll probably discover even more. I've had times when urgency spilled over as pressure, times when passion spilled over as intensity. And that leaves people feeling like they can't say no to me. The hardest thing about blind spots is we can't see them alone. We need others to hold up the mirror. And that requires courage. So, Krista, how do I discover and expose my blind spots? The first suggestion I have for you is create safe feedback loops. Ask people you trust, how do you experience me? And never punish honesty. Notice repetition. If you keep hearing the same feedback, don't dismiss it. It's your blind spot calling. Invite diverse perspectives. Surround yourself with people who don't think like you. Echo chambers breed blindness. Practice humility every day. Admit when you're wrong. Apologize quickly. Humility disarms those blind spots. Commit to ongoing reflection, journaling, coaching, therapy. Shine lights in all those hidden corners. And here's a little bit of neuroscience insight on awareness versus denial. Your prefrontal cortex thrives on awareness, but denial keeps us trapped in the amygdala's loop. Leaders who deny blind spots end up reactive, defensive, and isolated. But awareness puts you in your logical thinking self, which breaks the loop. It allows for choice and regulation and growth. So here are just a few reflection questions that you can use for regular self-awareness checks. What feedback have I resisted because it felt uncomfortable? Where might my habits unintentionally be harming others? Who can I trust to hold up the mirror to my blind spots? Because blind spots do break leaders. Here's a truth I invite you to take to heart. Leaders aren't destroyed by what they know. They're destroyed by what they refuse to see. Blind spots break leaders, but awareness saves them. If you want to lead well, you must be humble enough to ask, brave enough to listen, and wise enough to see what you'd rather avoid. Thank you for joining me today on Rise Up Voices from the Frontlines. And this is a trauma-informed leadership series episode. If this episode resonates with you, share it with someone who needs the reminder. The cost of blindness is just too high. I invite you to join us in the Rise Up Trauma-Informed Leadership course and community. And if you would like to talk about bringing our trauma-enforced IACET CEU training to your organization, school, convention, or seminar, click the link below for a completely free consultation with me. I can't wait to see you rise up out of the ashes of your experiences and live and lead your life on fire.
Become a Rise Up Hero sponsor to provide mental wellness and crisis response resources for those who serve country and community. Join us in the Rise Up